Bowhunt or Die is being brought to you by Matthews, Lost Camo, Lone Wolf Portable Tree Stands, Hunter Safety System, Heartland Wildlife Institute, New Archery Products, Tinks, Carbon Express, Stealth Cam, Moose Utility Division, Lacrosse Footwear, Scent Blocker, Pine Ridge Archery, and Can Cooker.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Bowhunt or Die. I'm Todd Graff. Alongside me as always is Justin Zarr. And guys, we are getting to the favorite time of the year. You know what? There's nothing more fun, Justin, than the anticipation of the Christmas presents being underneath the tree. And that's kind of what this time of the year is all about. What is going to be on those trail cameras?
Exactly. You know, we're at the beginning of August now, so the bucks are pretty well filled out for what they're going to be for the year. So any trail camera pictures that we're getting now basically is what you're going to see once that velvet comes off. So, you know, we told you guys in the last episode we were going to start off with a couple hit lists, show you some of the bucks we're going to be chasing this fall. So I guess I'm up first. You know, if I can't kill them, at least I can get photos of them that you guys can look at. So let's start with some of the hit list bucks that I'm going to be chasing this fall. Well, good morning, guys. It is Saturday, August 3rd. I'm here in Lake County, Illinois, one of my local suburban spots that I hunt, and getting ready to hang a tree stand. As you can tell, I got the old hunter safety system on. But before I head out, I want to give you a quick update on 3 of the main hit list bucks in this farm. Number 1 is a deer we call the White 8. We've got 3 years of trail camera photos of this particular deer. We believe he's a 5-year-old. Mike picked up one of his sheds actually in this cornfield behind me over the off season, so he's definitely one of the homebodies on this particular farm, and we definitely want to try to kill him. He's not huge antler wise, but he's a 5-year-old deer, he's mature, and that's the kind of buck that you want to shoot. Second up, we got the Broken 7. 2 years ago, as a 2-year-old 7-pointer, he broke a bunch of his tines off. We think this deer is kind of a scrapper and actually one of the more dominant deer on the farm. So I passed him as a 2-year-old, passed him twice last year as a 3-year-old, hoping to be able to shoot him this year as a 4-year-old. He comes up here. I passed him at like about 22, 23 yards. Last year he was a 7-point, broke up his rack real bad. This year he's an 8-point. Don't have any pictures of him yet, but hoping to get those soon. And then lastly is a buck that we call the Fridge. This deer, if he's still alive, is a 5-year-old. Last year he was a beautiful mid-140s 4-year-old buck. I got a ton of stealth cam pictures and video of this deer. I mean, just an awesome buck. Unfortunately, I had an encounter with him in the end of October. I was able to get a shot off, but unfortunately I pulled a double whammy. I forgot to hit record and I made a bad shot. Hit him far forward in front of the shoulder. I'm gonna vomit right now. Fortunately, the deer lived. I got pictures and video of him about a week later. Unfortunately, those were the last confirmed sightings of that deer, which was early November of last year. So I don't know if he ended up dying later on down the road and we just didn't find him. I don't know if somebody else shot him, if he got hit by a car, if he just moved off to another farm. I really don't know. So he's on the hit list, even though I don't even know that he's still around. But until I know otherwise or go an entire season without seeing him, he's definitely still on my list. So that's about it for this farm. We got a lot of up and coming, real good looking young deer. We're hoping to be on the hit list next year and for years to come, but those 3 are tops on the list for this year. Tomorrow I'm headed out to Northwest Illinois with Tom Alford. We're gonna hang some stands and get some food plots sprayed. So we'll check in tomorrow morning with an update on the hit list from that particular farm. All right, we're going to give you a quick hit list update on the bucks out in Davies County at our new lease. I think at last count we've got 7 or 8 different shooters on camera this summer, some of which we've named, some of which we haven't. So let's start off first with the buck that we call Joe Dirt, or Deer Tay, or Dirty Joe. It's your pick. He's a big, wide 8-pointer, super massive, big brow tines. Got a couple pictures of him in early July, and he seemed to have disappeared after that. The next buck is a giant 11-pointer, mainframe 10 with a split G4 on his left side. That buck we've got pictures of pretty consistently all summer, mostly in our bean field. We're calling him Danny Ocean. So he's definitely near the top of the hit list. We actually just had a new buck that showed up, which is a big 10-pointer with dual splits on both G2s. We're calling him the Nutcracker Buck. He's a good looking deer. Then we've got just a giant 10-pointer that I don't know if it's a deer that we got pictures of a few weeks ago or if this is a new deer that just showed up, but he's a giant and super massive big 10-pointer. We're calling him the Baconator. So I think him and Danny Ocean are probably the tops on the hit list for right now. Aside from those guys, we've got another big 9-pointer that just showed up, a big 8-pointer, narrow and tall. I'm thinking about calling him the Impaler. So that's a great name. But in any case, we got a ton of really good bucks on this property. We got a couple stands set. Hopefully we'll get food plots planted in the next couple weeks and be able to bring you some footage of them both on the hoof and in the truck later this fall. So that's the hit list for Joe Davies County 2013 Bow Hunt or Die.
You know, I kind of like being in this position. This is actually a time when I get to have Justin out there putting out all the trail cameras, and I actually know that I can benefit from some of the intel that I get from Justin, what comes in on some of the stealth cams. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of fun.
Not only running cameras, but we sprayed food plots. We got a couple stands hung, but you know, that second piece of property I was just telling you guys about is a brand new lease that we just got this year.
Right.
And you know, Todd and I are going to be doing some hunting together along with some of our other team members out there. And anytime you've got a new piece of property like that, walking in blind, I don't think we set foot out there until May, sometime in May. So we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. We had no idea what type of deer were on the property. And fortunately, we've been very pleasantly surprised. There's obviously a lot of good deer out there, but you know, Todd, you and I have talked a lot about it. A lot changes between August 1st and October 1st when we can get out in the field. Just because those deer are there now doesn't mean they're going to be there come hunting season.
Right, well that's a fact. I mean, we see it every year, you know, we get excited, we start off with all these great photos. For some of you that are lucky enough to be able to do kind of inventory on your properties over whether it be minerals or bait sites and so forth, you know, you can do a really good job creating that inventory list. Here in Illinois, we can't do that. We have to be a little bit more selective about where we're going to put those trail cameras. Beans are always a hot spot right now, looking for some of those key trails that lead into the food plots. But the reality is, once that velvet comes off, these bucks don't become as friendly in their core groups anymore, and that's when the wandering begins.
Yeah, I mean, rewind to last year, you know, we take a look at my hit list on a different farm. I think I had 4 or 5 bucks that were in like the 140 to 160 range during the summer. And here I am thinking, this is great. I got a 100-acre farm with 5 shooters running around on it. I hunted a lot last year. I hunted hard. I didn't even see one of those deer from stand. I was still getting pictures of some of them, and I knew they were around, but you know, just because you see them during the summertime doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to shoot one come fall. But on the flip side of that, I know a lot of our team members that haven't been getting good, you know, trail camera photos over the summertime. Really doesn't mean anything, because that doesn't mean that once that velvet comes off, a buck isn't going to move a half a mile or a mile sometimes to their fall core areas, and all of a sudden, bam, you're just going to have a buck show up one day and he's going to be there. So if you're getting good pictures, don't count your chickens before they've hatched. If you're not getting good photos, don't worry about it, because the bucks definitely will show up. So next up, Todd, what do we got? I think it's Tim and Troy out in the same area doing some work.
Yeah, that's right, Justin. We're going to join up now with Tim and Troy as they do some additional property maintenance, and we're going to see their new arrow setup for this fall.
Hey guys and gals, it's Troy and Tim. We're checking in from Northwest Illinois. We just got up to our property here this evening. We are on what we like to call our mini mancation. It's a weekend away from the wives, but we got a lot of work to do. It's June 12th. So we got a lot of work to do on our property and getting set up, and actually we're gonna do some shooting with our bows this week and have some fun.
Yeah, like Troy said, we got a pretty fun and exciting weekend up ahead of us here. It starts early tomorrow morning. We're going to head out and check on our food plots and do a little food plot assessment. Look at some deer damage and how the plants are growing in each one of our food plots. Once we're done with that, we're going to head out and do some mowing and spraying. And we'll show you some of that around our hedgerows. And then we're going to head out and look at some trail cameras. We got 6 out now. We plan on putting out some more and compiling our hit list for the future.
But before we hit the hay, tonight we actually got the opportunity to get our new Maxima Reds by Carbon Express in this past week. So what we're going to do is cut these up tonight. We're pretty excited about these. They have a 2.5 thousandths straightness. They're about 9.07 grains per inch. This new technology here, last year they had the spine or weight forward technology. This year they've gone with this dynamic spine. And what this basically does is reduces oscillation on the front end of the arrow and helps with broadhead control.
Hey, and now we're back out at our what we call our hedgerows. This is something we planted earlier and we're pretty excited about.
Basically what we're doing, we got about 5 different varieties planted 3 rows wide on 3 sides of this major this big field that we've got. We do have some corn planted in it, some winter wheat, some clover, and we got some beans over here. So what we're trying to do is, with such a wide open field, we're trying to help control at some point in the years when we get these hedgerows to grow up where they're entering and exiting this main field and food sources. So that way we can have a better control of that, and hopefully in the future be able to really put down some nice big bucks as on their way out to the food plots. So we got a lot more work to do. This is taking a lot longer than we thought, but you know, that's what you got to do sometimes, is put all that work in to get those big bucks come October. So we'll give you another update later when we start moving on to checking some trail cameras and spraying some apple trees.
So after 5.5 hours of mowing, we're finally finished. We got that hedgerow mowed, which took a lot longer than we thought it would.
Yeah, we're standing over a clover plot, and this is actually in December where I passed the Yeti. He came just about 20 yards behind us and gave me a 20-yard shot, but I figured I'd pass on him and hope for him this year. All right, so we did part of the fun stuff we were talking about. We checked our trail cameras. We got 2 bucks on there in velvet that are getting pretty close. They have some potential. One we think might be Nanook from last year. We passed on him a few times. He's a split G2 buck on both sides. So we're excited to kind of catch him on camera, but didn't get a great angle on him, so we're hoping to see more of him. The other one we're not sure yet, still early. We're excited just to get a few bucks on the trail cams.
So now we're gonna have a little fun. Day's winding down, the sun's about to head over the horizon, and we got our brand new reds out. You guys saw us work hard last night to build these babies. We're excited to make them fly and just see how they perform. So stick with us here and watch some magic happen.
Well, Todd, one thing I've learned from watching Tim and Troy these past 2 years is these guys are serious about deer hunting.
Oh, yeah.
They've got a great spot. They work extremely hard at food plots, property management, running trail cameras,
Definitely.
doing everything that you're supposed to do. Hopefully with a little bit of luck and some good weather and some good shooting, thanks to those new Carbon Express arrows, those guys will put down a couple more deer on film this fall. What do we got next?
Well, we're going to join up with a brand new team member. For those of you who are just dialing into the show, I mean, this is his first contribution. You know, we put a lot of effort into our application process and how to be a part of Bowhunt or Die, and Chad worked his butt off, and I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to see what Chad's going to bring to the table this year.
Yeah, this is Chad's first offering for Bowhunt or Die, so let's check it out and we'll see how he does.
Hi guys, Chad Stillman here from southeastern Wisconsin, first year prostaff member. I'm always excited every year for bow hunting to come around year round, but this year I'm just extremely excited, extremely fired up to be a part of this team. Truly feel blessed to be a part of this team, be a prostaff member with bowhunting.com and have opportunities to contribute to the Bowhunt or Die show. The Stillmans have been busy this year. My wife Melissa's my camera lady. We've been spending a lot of time with the girls, family vacations, but in the meantime, constantly preparing for this upcoming season. We've been shooting our Matthews bows a lot, been out checking our stealth cams, and out scouting. This particular piece of property that I'm hunting this year doesn't usually show many large bucks on camera early for some reason, but the last couple of years they always seem to show up. It's a large piece of property, not a lot of hunting pressure. So I'm excited to see either what shows up on our stealth cams or more importantly what I'm seeing moving on its feet during daylight hours once bow season comes around. We've been chasing a couple bucks the last couple years. The first one that I'm going to talk about is my old nemesis, goes by the name of Obsession. first encounter with this buck was November 3rd, 2011. I was walking through a local small patch of woods, found a bunch of fresh rubs, and got permission to hang a set there. Hung a lone wolf set that night, and sure enough, right at dark, he came through. At that time in his life, he was a 3.5-year-old, about 150-inch 10-pointer, and I blew it. Had a perfect opportunity, had him hanging on the wall before he even came in, and I blew the shot, and hit him right in the shoulder. He took off running. Not only did he take off running and jump a nearby stream, as he jumps the stream about 80 yards from my stand, he reaches back with his teeth, pulls the arrow that's still sticking out of him, only about an inch penetrated because I hit him dead in the shoulder. He leaves it for me as a souvenir, takes off. I let him go, not knowing how well I hit him the next day. Go out and find him. I jump him in some CRP grass. He takes off. Not only did this buck survive, he flourished. I had 5 more encounters with this buck this same season in 2011, a couple which were in late season. One night he's eating in my yard as I'm walking back from my stand. So he was on my mind, thus he earned the name Obsession because I'm completely obsessed with him. Last time we saw him, we had a photo of him last end of September. He was a mature 4.5-year-old now, looked to be a mainframe 10 with kickers, so he's a 12-pointer, probably in the 165 range. We did not find his sheds this year. I know everyone that hunts this area. We have other trail camera pictures of him on other properties nearby, and he has not been shot yet to our knowledge. So number 1 on our hit list this year is going to be Obsession. Number 2 is going to be this buck here. Don't have a name for him. I don't even know that his size has earned him a name, but we found this while we were shed hunting, probably in March. We're excited to see what he's going to grow into. So I'm confident he's going to add some size. He's going to add some inches to his bone, and maybe we'll get an opportunity to put this one on the ground. Haven't named him, but he's also on the hit list. So I just encourage you to keep watching season 4 of Bowhunt or Die and follow the Stillmans, because one of 2 things: we will do something stupid that you're going to be able to learn from, and we're hoping that we can bring a smile to your face and make you laugh. We have a lot of fun together as a family, and between my wife and I in the tree, to kill downtime, we usually come up with something really stupid to do. And this year we got a camera to video it all. So stay with us, and we hope we don't disappoint. Once again, we are absolutely blessed to be part of this team, and we hope that we can produce. Keep watching. Bowhunt or Die, baby.
Well, guys, there you have it. Chad Stillman's first contribution to Bowhunt or Die. I honestly think he's doing a really good job. You know, Chad sent in his application video earlier this year. Right. We reviewed a bunch of applications, and honestly, Chad looked like one of the better guys out there that fits in with our team. And the reason that he fits in so well is he's just an ordinary, average kind of bow hunter. You know, he lives to bow hunt, but he's got a job. He's got a family who also happens to be passionate about the outdoors, which is great. But, you know, he's doing it the real way. After work, weekends, couple vacation days a year, just like the rest of us do it. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how Chad's first, full season as a member of the Bowhunt or Die team shapes up. Hopefully he's going to shoot, a big buck on film this fall. But hey, let's face it, Todd, it's hunting and it's not killing. You never know what's going to happen.
No, that's a fact. You just never know what's going to happen. So you know what? I've got my fingers crossed for Chad and, of course, everybody on our team and everybody who watches our show that they all shoot a big buck. But next up, we're going to join up with Steve Flores, where this is a guy who definitely puts his time in. I mean, he hunts in an area that, quite frankly, I'm not very familiar with at all. It's West Virginia, totally different type of country than what me and you are used to hunting. If you maybe remember from one of the earlier episodes, he went out and did some early season scouting. Now what he's doing is he's returning to those same spots, and he's setting up mock scrapes. So let's take a look to see what he has to bring to the table.
July 20th, I'm headed back to my lease. I'm going to check some game cameras, make a few mock scrapes. Hopefully I've already got a few shooter bucks on the camera. Keep my fingers crossed. It's normally a good area. A lot of does go through there, so hopefully something good has showed up already on the camera. We'll have to wait and see. All right, we made it to my spot. I'm going to go check my stealth cam, make a few mock scrapes with some Tinks Power Scrape. One thing I want to tell you guys, if you use an ATV like I do, this Moose Bighorn bag is a perfect thing to use to get everything up here without getting everything muddy and dusty and destroyed. And you can see I've got everything in here I need to make my mock scrape. I got my VTech, my power gel, I've got my scrape gripper. I can keep them all in here and nothing gets dirty or messed up. Back in February, I think it was, on episode 1, my wife and I was actually in the spot and found a big trail coming down the hill and a lot of trails running parallel. We've actually hung a stand at the top of that drain. My mock scrapes are at the bottom of this drain. The drain is probably only 75, maybe 50 yards deep, but the bucks are definitely moving through. The does are certainly moving through there. So we've kind of set this mock scrape up in that travel corridor, so with the thought that a big buck may come through and start using the area, and then when I'm in there in November I can put an arrow in him. So let's go see what we got. Alright, before I head out to make my mock scrape, if you guys are doing that, making mock scrapes with maybe Tinks Power Scrape or whatever, hunting season's 2 months away, okay, but you still, when you're messing with these mock scrapes and bucks, you need to make sure that you're using the same scent precautions that you would during the normal hunting season. So what I like to do is spray down. I've got my VTech, I spray down real good. I wear rubber boots, spray those down real good, spray my whole body. I'm wearing rubber gloves also, especially when you're messing with a deer's nose and something that you're going to pull him to with his nose, like a mock scrape. You need to have rubber gloves. Everything needs to be clean. You need to shower, scent-free soap, all that stuff whenever you're messing with this stuff. So just a good thing to remember. All right, made it to my camera, my spot. If you remember back, I think it was February, episode 1, my wife and I was in this area. Of course, it looks a little different now, but we were in this area. We had a heavy trail coming down this drain in front of me. I'm going to set this mock scrape up with my Tinks Power Scrape. I'm going to make a mock scrape in here. Hopefully the bucks, when he starts cruising through here looking for does, or he happens to be coming through here this summer, he'll pick up on this scrape and start working the area. But let's see what we got on the camera. Okay, so I pulled the card out of my stealth cam. I've got one shooter so far. He looks to be a pretty good mountain buck. Obviously the power scrape's working, so this guy's already coming in and hitting it. We're going to refreshen it, put some more power scrape down, put some gel power scrape down, and get out of here. Mock scrape down. We got some power scrape put in the scrape, and also put some gel power scrape. So hopefully we can keep that big buck that's in here coming back, and hopefully get an arrow in him in November. Have to wait and see. Okay, before we leave, I'm gonna put out some Tinks salad dressing. You can spray this stuff on any type of vegetation. It attracts deer. They'll eat whatever it's on. So we're gonna put this in here where we've got my mock scrape, and the does are naturally coming through here just as an added attractant. So we'll do this and we'll get out of here.
That segment right there really shows us why some of that off-season scouting is so important. You know, if you go back to Steve's footage from, during the winter time, you can literally see the entire lay of the land everywhere that he's going. There's no leaves on the trees. The ground's pretty barren, so he can get a feel for the topography, where the travel corridors are, and hang his stand. You go back into that same area in July and August, it looks nothing like it looked earlier in the year. So it's a good thing that Steve went out, did his work during the off season, because it looks like he's set up in a good spot. Todd, he was using the Tinks Power Scrape product, which I know you and I have had a lot of good luck with over the years. So, he put that mock scrape out. I know it seems early, but like Steve explained, these bucks will use scrapes to communicate with one another all year round. So don't think that it's too early to start putting your mock scrapes out right now. Obviously Steve did. He got a good buck on his trail camera already, so looks to me like he's in a good spot. Hopefully he continues his streak of shooting good bucks every year.
You know, Justin, those power scrapes, I mean, they're a lot of fun to work with. And I'm going to tell you right now, here in Illinois, we can't do the minerals. And if you want to get a good inventory of the bucks you have, I've been using scrapes, mock scrapes, to do that for years. And I'm telling you right now, if you keep them fresh, whether it's April, May, June, or July, I'm telling you, you can keep pulling multiple deer in the area. The does will come, they'll continue to smell them. They may not urinate in them as much as you would see in the fall, but you know what? They've got glands on their feet, they're leaving their scent behind, and that's going to continue to bring a lot of deer to that spot. As always, we want to thank the people who took the time to send us their trophy photos.
Jake Mercer,
Jeff Wickman,
Jeff Zulsdorf,
and Logan Chados.
Hey, congratulations everybody. Those are some great trophies. Remember, if you want to see yourself right here in an episode of Bowhunt or Die, all you've got to do is click onto the homepage of bowhunting.com, click on the Submit Your Trophy button in the upper right-hand corner, and we could feature you in the next episode. Well, guys, that's all the action we have for this episode of Bowhunt or Die. You know, in the next couple of episodes is really going to be winding down, or should I say really building up to the season.
Winding up.
You know, we've got a couple more hit lists from the guys that are rolling in. Some of the guys out there have got some absolute giant bucks on camera. You guys are definitely going to want to check those out. You know, Todd, fall food plot planning, definitely going on hot and heavy right now.
Need rain.
Yeah, we definitely need some rain, but we're going to be out here pretty soon doing some fall food plotting. We got some more tree stands that got to get hung, which is always fun. But, you know, there's still a lot of activity to happen before the start of the season. We're going to bring you all of that action. And then in just over a month, Todd, Wisconsin bow season starts.
It's time. I'm ready.
Todd's not even ready. He's got none of his tree stands trimmed out yet in Wisconsin.
I just make Justin think that. Don't worry. I'll be ready.
Or he's going to make me go trim them for him, one of the two. So
just look at the stats from the last couple seasons. I'll be ready to go when that time's ready.
Exactly. Well, anyways, on that note, that's all we got for this episode of Bowhunt or Die. Make sure to join us in 2 weeks. We're going to have a lot more updates for you, and you're not going to want to miss it.
In the meantime, don't forget to check out facebook.com/bowhunting for daily updates, news, photos, and other exciting information. We want to hear your opinions and your stories, so join us now and like us on Facebook.
All right, so it's Saturday, July 11th. Is it July 11th? So just as we had issues with beer, Bowhunt or Die, baby. Woo! Howdy.